Welcome to another episode of the A-Team at New Beginnings Farmstead. I'm Elisa, and we have Julie, Jeff, Egidio, and my brother Mark is here. He was with us talking about bikes, and now we're going to talk about retirement and the next phase in life, because you recently retired after a very long career in corrections.
I did. About 27 years of that, and enough is enough. And I didn't retire because I don't like to work. I retired because 27 years of corrections is enough of corrections. So I didn't really plan on doing anything. Like, I know a few people, which we all
At this table.
which we all think we don't want to do when we retire. We're just going to take it easy and don't do anything. But after about 6 months of that, I thought, no, this isn't going to work. I have to do something.
Why?
Because I felt like I was spinning my wheels and watching the world go on around me, and I didn't feel like I was being productive at all. So I said, all right. So I didn't know what I would do. I thought either I would go do some landscaping or some construction, or a guy I knew, John Murphy, who had a real estate company for the last 30 years or so. I thought maybe I'll go ask him what he thinks, because he's known me long enough, and he would either say, Mark, this is for you, or he would say, you don't want to get into this, you don't want any part of this. And when I spoke to him, he said, go get your license and get back here, which I did. And I think
And you took you did like the accelerated course, right?
I went up and I did I went to the school and did it. I didn't study at home or online or whatever. I went up and did the couple of weeks up in Albany, and took the state test, took the school test, and I've had to renew it, since then. But came back and I've enjoyed every bit of it. The people, I work with great bunch of people. I enjoy the deals, really. I enjoy the people I meet. I enjoy the whole process of the negotiating and the back and forth, the whole bit. I've enjoyed a lot of it.
Nice.
And it's been pretty good.
Doing it on your own or with? Are you doing it on your own or with a company?
I work for Howard Hanna Rand Realty. It was when I went up and spoke to John, because he's owned the Murphy Group forever. So when I went up and spoke to him, and when I came back was right as the Murphy Group was transitioning to Howard Hanna Rand Realty, which is actually the largest privately owned company in the state. You see their signs everywhere. So that's the company I joined, and that's where I am today. Yeah, no, I love it there.
What's your region?
I work anywhere that we basically drive. I've been on the buying and selling side for homes here in Kingston, Wawarsing, Newburgh, Wallkill, Wavengers Falls. Right now I'm in the middle of one in the contract in Catskill, and I should have another one coming up soon in Red Hook. So I travel all around. I enjoy it. I actually don't mind traveling. I know a lot of people like Kingston will be their main area, or like they might not want to go across the river, or they don't go here or there, but I travel. I like going in. I'll go anywhere. I really do. I enjoy it.
Nice. And you did that for a while.
Yes.
That's it, huh? Okay.
Yeah. No, I in college, when I was going for my associate's degree, right out of high school, one of the classes offered was real estate, and I sat through it for the semester, and then you're eligible to take the state exam for certification. So I got my realtor's license, and I started working at the time for Century 21 Era. I had my gold jacket.
Nice.
That now appears not even to be able to fit my sleeve through my hand. It was just amazing. I'm like, man, look how small I was. And but yeah, so I had a gold jacket and had the tag on it, and Century 21 was one of those franchises, and Marilyn Arrow had it down here. Yeah, and so I went around, applied. She hired me, which is really back then there's no salary associated with it, right? You just work off the commission, and so the harder you work, the more you put into it. And I attended a couple of classes outside the scope of normal training, because Century 21 offered training on financing, working with buyers and sellers, listing agents, the whole stuff at the time. And I found that the real money, if you could say so, was in the listing. You would try to list as many properties as possible. So I put all my efforts into, at the time, before we had cell phones, it wasn't like that back then. And, I cold call. Hey, it would be something, Gidio Tinti, Century 21 era. You ever thought about listing your home, and literally go through the phone book. And the
that's
weirdest.
rough.
So you're the guy I hung up on.
No, you had to do it, and this is before, hey, your warranty's
It's illegal
expired.
now.
And,
It's
now you can't do it,
it's
right?
actually illegal now.
But we would, I called, and you would, and the weirdest call that I ever remember taking, and I was successful. I mean, I did all right, and I was actually, Ulster County Star Shining one year. That my accordion got me places. Because if you want what other people don't have, you got to do what other people won't do. And so I would cold call, and they're like, it was a little man. He's like, I actually, we are considering moving, and at some point, and I'm like, listen, I can come out there, do an evaluation on your property, give you an idea what the market's holding right now, the sales pitch type of thing. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, anything unique about your property, just to kind of get ahead of it, and the location, the thing. And I looked at the address, right? The phone book has the address. And he's like, yeah, I located such and such a thing. This is the type of neighborhood. There was no Google Maps. You couldn't tell. It's all. And he's like, well, the only thing is my wife brings it up now. I can hear her talking in the background. There was some. And he's like, the only issue we're going to have is that we have a statue of the Mary in the front of the property that has to remain with the sale. That can't be moved. And I'm like, okay, I guess we'll talk about that, right? Like, well, let me come out and take a look at it, right? What are you going to tell them? No. And, at the time there was techniques like, hey, I'd like to come out and do an evaluation of your property. Is Tuesday or Wednesday better for you? Well, those don't work for me. Thursday or Friday, you give them the choice instead of the yes or no, and kind of work it that way. And so part of it, I started to, but I found myself getting drawn back into the construction side. They're like, yeah, we want to list this house. Well, why would you want to sell it? All it really needs is a new facade here.
Talking them out of it.
Yeah. And then the one that gave me probably the most problem was like, yeah, you no problem. We'll list it with you. And, we had the percentages and brokerage firm costs and stuff like that. And the one person's like, yeah, I actually don't want the sign in my front lawn. For sale. I don't want the neighbors. And I'm like, well, it's a common thing to sell it, to gain interest, and people drive around neighborhoods. And so he's like, all right. I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can put the sign out, but you can't dig a hole in my lawn. And I'm like, what? And he's like, and I would do it myself, like, pitch, had all the tools, right? So I put the sign out front, and he's like, yeah, I don't want a hole in my lawn. And I'm like,
So they were different. They weren't the little signs that they have now with little tiny.
This was actually a
fronts.
4x4 with a post on it.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, with the sign, you put your name at the bottom, listing agent,
Boy.
And then we would do, I don't know what they're still doing now. At the time, they used to call them weekly caravans. And you had
we've done a couple of caravans.
What's it called?
MLS?
So you had the book back then. It was a book. Now everything's online, but you had the book, and it would come out, and you'd be like looking through it, and you'd have a caravan, and you'd show your house to the agents, so they were familiar with what was done and any kind of uniqueness to it, and they'd say, hey, listen, I might have somebody interested. Is your buyer kind of anxious to go on this? And the timeline to move is about you kind of work that deal behind the deal type of thing, and. If you could list and sell, that'd be great, obviously, but the brokerage firm, in this case, Century 21 era, would get a piece of that, and they'd take care of all the paperwork. But it was definitely a unique situation at the time, being young like that.
Did the house with the Mary sell
It did sell.
to your mother?
Well, so believe it or not, one of the conditions in the contract, when we went to contract, they wanted to put it that it couldn't be removed.
That had to stay there for the new people,
yeah,
right?
So I finally found out it was something that her mother gave her, and gave it to bless the house. And it was one of these things like it means a lot, and
Why
I'm
did
like,
they take it to their new house?
So ultimately,
Bless the new house.
that's kind of what.
Because the body was buried underneath.
I was waiting for that. That's what I was thinking.
Why?
I was gonna
What?
say. There's something. There's something under that statue.
So, so finally we were able to move it, and it took a little convincing on it from that part, and it was actually going to hold up the sale.
I will guarantee
Yeah,
it.
they're like, yeah, I'm not I'm not moving into this house with that thing up front. First of all, we're not religious. Like that has no.
Yeah, I would imagine that would limit the sale quite a bit.
Yeah, it was interesting that was like the first thing the person
they
said.
could. It's in the contract that it stays there forever.
They wanted it in the deed.
Oh my God!
Yeah, in the deed. Interesting, right? Interesting.
Yeah.
And that didn't do that. But there were a couple. I know you had probably stories with some of this stuff. Didn't you show a house where the deck fell off or something?
Oh yeah, I was yeah, a little too soon, but I'll go with it anyway. I was selling a place that's not nearby here.
Yeah, no locations.
And it was a duplex, and I was doing the open house, and so there's 2 back porches. This is like second story, and the people that own the place, the sellers, had just driven away. I'm just opening the door. People are coming in, and this guy and his father and their grandfather, I'm showing the place to, and we go out to the back porch because I'm going to show them the deck and the porch and the yard and stuff. As we step out, the one gentleman steps out, the other guy, and then the grandfather steps out with me. And as I turn around to close the sliding door, just as the door hits, I feel a shake, and then the whole porch comes out from under us, and down we go.
An entire floor.
The entire, yeah.
8 feet,
Story,
right?
8 feet. 8 feet.
Can you imagine?
And the deck disconnected from the house, and down we went. So the guy that was out in front of us reached up and grabbed the railing that was in the front. The other guy fell, and then the older guy, fell against the house with me, and we went down against the house with the lumber and the furniture coming down.
Right? The furniture fell on.
Yeah, everything. So we crawled out, and everybody crawled out from under it, which then I immediately had to call the sellers and say, I need you to get back here right now.
Wow.
And actually, people that right after that, and as we crawled out, a few people that came up and saw it and were just shaking their head that we were still running open house.
At an open house.
And they ended up buying it. Not the people that collapsed with me, and thankfully nobody got hurt. But
How did no one get hurt?
I don't know. I don't know how I didn't get hurt because I got pinned with when it went. I have pictures of it that I won't show right now. but down we went. So needless to say, the decks had to be replaced. And while we're at it,
Got a good deal though, right?
yeah. They tore the other one down and redid that also. Yeah.
And didn't they say they had been out there with their children?
Oh yeah, the night before the owners, because they lived there actually. Wow. They were. Matter of fact, I don't remember them asking if I was okay. But they did mention that the night before they had had dinner with the 2 of them and their grandchildren on that deck. So thankfully it didn't happen when they were there. And but actually the house did sell that day of all days. But we had to do a few things here to make things right.
I bet.
I think we had to do something with the septic too, but that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, the real estate does the listing, right? Do property evaluation, determine where the real estate market will hold, make suggestions. At the end, really, it's the seller that makes the determination whether to sell and what price, right? It's their house. They do whatever they want. One of the things I started getting into shortly after that was home inspections. I got certified as a home inspector.
That's a good gig.
It is a good gig. I mean, you got to do the report. You got to crawl in places that sometimes, a little icky. And, you got to do what you got to do. But, yeah, I mean, that was, I say easy money for me because I did construction. I could spot stuff away. But, yeah, I mean, a good inspector is absolutely a necessity anymore because you don't know what's hidden, right? There's mold issues and you just never know. But, yeah, you got to go up in the attic. You got to check the electrical, make sure there's no faulty stuff. It's a lot, but worth every penny.
My
Worth every penny.
so as you know, my friend Billy Joe does real estate in Colorado, and I was just talking to her, and she was at a house that she was selling, but she was painting the deck.
Yeah.
She was. And I was like, what do you mean you're painting the deck? And she says, well, I want it to sell.
Yeah.
The deck needs to be painted. So I'm out here painting it. I couldn't believe it that she would be the person, not the homeowner. They wouldn't hire somebody. Like she was out there painting the deck.
Well, I did an open house down in Newburgh, and on the back porch there were some boards that were up, and I did not want somebody tripping on any of the boards or what. So just as they would leave, I went and grabbed my screw gun, I grabbed my drill out of the screwed down the boards, made sure everything was tight and nobody was going to trip on anything. And then when they came back, I told them what I did. But that's
And now we're not selling. Oh, that's all it took. Anymore.
But as far as inspectors go, you do have to. It's incredibly important that you have a good inspector. I've seen inspectors that take 4 hours and they have all the latest equipment, everything to read moisture and mold and.
Radon. Oh, yeah. Water pressure, water.
Absolutely. And they're not going to miss anything, and they have their checklist. To people that I've seen an inspector that was in and out of an entire house in less than 20 minutes.
Right.
And that was, which would happen to be someone that my client had hired.
Right.
And I said, we really should get another inspection done. And she was like, no, this is fine. I'm like, this is on you.
Right.
I'm telling you that I don't think this is a good idea.
Right.
But she ended up buying that house too, but he didn't want to go. I've seen them where they don't want to go in the. Well, this had a hatch. What do you call it? Scuttle.
Yeah.
And he couldn't fit up into the thing. Well, it was in the closet and the shelf was there, so I kind of got it. And he tried it with a ladder, and he was a bigger guy and he was older, so he basically just held his phone up.
Right.
And
Took a
did one of
picture.
these, but that was not the way to do that. It should have taken the extra time to do some things, but we've also seen, like I said, some really good inspectors and some really bad ones.
Yeah.
So you got to pay attention to it. And listen to what the realtor says. The realtor has recommendations. That's why he's there. If he's going to recommend a inspector, use them.
Yeah,
You know?
for me, the interest, and again, going back, I was young at the time, 18, 19 years old. It was interesting to me that was one of the things when they first made. Like if I went there to list the house or give an evaluation, or if people would walk in to the building and it was my turn at the desk, right? You're catching this one kind of thing. If you stayed, for us, if you were in there and somebody walked in, we had a rotation, right? So okay, Jid, you're up, kind of thing. And it was interesting. There was a number of times that the people were like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm 18, 19." Like, do you know what you're doing? I said, yeah. How long you had your license? About 7 months. But I promise you, and that was the hard sell. So a lot of times, Maryland had a great program where one of the senior people would kind of get you through it and talk you through some of the stuff. Because, at the time, you'd run into some weird things. There were some contractual clauses and conditions. And but, yeah, it was interesting. The home inspection came a lot easier for me. But, yeah, it's a good time. I remember.
Well, there's a lot of older people that are brand new too. It's not you can always know if someone's 18 how long they haven't been in it that long. But just because someone's fit in their 50s doesn't mean they've been doing it a long time either or know that much. I'm kind of amazed by how
you definitely got to be a people person when you start dealing with that.
Absolutely.
And, there's been a couple of times you get there and there was a disagreement at the closing, and you're like, this is going to go south on us, and you deal with it. But I don't know if you have dealings with real estate agents on a regular basis, or when we bought this place, we went to the listing agent's place. Right? We didn't have an agent to work with.
We didn't have an agent, no.
Right,
We just saw the sign.
We saw the
Kept
sign and
driving back
contacted
and
them.
forth.
So it was, the entire brokerage firm gets the piece of it, right? Gets the sale and the list at the same time. But it was a different agent, right? Because the listing agent can't represent us as buyers. That's how that works, right?
They can.
Now they can.
Yeah. It's called dual agency.
Oh, okay.
And but it has to be. You have to agree to it.
Okay.
And then when you agree to it, then what happens is you're more of a go-between with information than you are like the loyalty. And,
okay.
you're not really negotiating on behalf of you. It turns into more of a you're working both sides, and you're basically not favoring either one of them. You're just keeping things fair, even, equitable, and we'll do this just that way.
The way I remember it, we couldn't at the time. I don't know if something's changed.
It has changed. It was totally. There's a couple of things. You can't cold call anymore.
Right.
Dual agency was totally illegal. You couldn't work both sides of the deal.
Right.
You would if someone came in, like if were working in your office and it was your listing, and someone came in, they would have to hand it off to someone else, right in your own office.
In
your office, and assign to other agents.
That's happened numerous times where they'll see the sign for Century 21, and if it was my listing, they would call, and I'd have to refer them to somebody else in the office.
Yeah. So the agent next to you or whoever else who's up or whatever would get assigned it. Yeah. But now you can do both. But that's the other thing though. But a lot of times you'll have a client that'll say, "No, I don't want that.
Right.
I want you staying just up with me on my side," which is fine. Which is then that's part of the paperwork they signed in the beginning. Yeah. Interesting. I enjoy it.
Nice. So, Jeff, you're retiring soon. Do you have any plans to do anything?
Nope.
Good for you.
There's the note. There we go.
Nope. I've been doing what I do now for when I retire. It'll be 41 years.
41
I don't want to do it anymore.
Well, definitely don't want to do that
I
anymore.
don't want to do anything.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, realistically, how many months of projects, honeydews and all that other stuff you've got to catch up on?
Oh, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I don't. Just not going to work.
But your plan,
Not doing it.
your plan is to retire. Is Margaret going to retire?
No, she can't retire for a little while afterwards.
So you're going to have a couple of years.
Probably. And that's okay. Again, I'm done. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to travel. I don't want to get on another airplane. I ain't going to do nothing.
You staying home?
I will stay home. If I can't drive there, I'm not going.
There you
That's
go.
bottom line. If I can't drive, I ain't going. Again, 41 years. And technically, I've been working since I was 12. So I've never had unemployment, knock on wood. So I am done.
Yeah, it's tough though, right, Mark? You get
Yeah,
6 months into it,
I'm done.
you caught everything, you dusted everything. All right, we're good. What next?
I did
Nothing?
not plan on doing anything. I didn't. I was going to play golf, hunt, and fish.
Trust me
That's
on
really
this.
what I was doing.
That's it, huh?
6 months in, and I'm like, I've played, and I still play a lot of golf and hunt and fish. And I was like, I can't. I got to do something. I have to do something.
Trust me on this. I'm done. I will not work. I will not have well, I always have a boss, but I will not have an outside boss. I'm just done. Again, 41 years. That's a long time.
That is a
Do you have
long
any
time.
hobbies that you do that you plan to do
I will
more?
find hobbies. I will buy hobbies. I will do something. I will find hobbies.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with
But see,
that.
the other thing too is, I'm okay with just being me. I can be by myself.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I don't need people. I don't like people. I could be.
What do I tell you? I said, listen, I don't get lonely when I'm alone. I'm like, oh, there's nobody.
there is-
Let me call someone. I told you the story on Sunday. I'm like, where are you going? She's like, I'm going biking with Christina. For how long? She goes,
excited.
And then she says, aren't you going to come watch? I go, nope. Watch a bike race? Like, are you going to be on the track going around in circles? And she goes, no. I said, how do I watch a bike race? You're going to take off. I said, you know what? Just let me know when we're going to have lunch together. That was it.
Again,
And then I called you.
perfectly comfortable by myself. I don't care. I am fine.
That's what
I
you
am
said.
too.
That's what you said too.
I totally enjoyed being by myself. I am
don't-
totally fine being alone.
Again, I don't want to travel anywhere. I don't want to nothing. Again, if I can't drive to it, I ain't going.
Yeah.
It ain't
That's
worth
it.
it.
Well, you can go a lot of places driving.
And that's fine. And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
What about you?
With retirement?
Yeah.
No.
You're not retiring, or you're not doing it?
I love everything I'm doing.
Okay.
You need a hobby?
Here's how this conversation goes. She goes, what are you doing today? And I, whatever, a day off. What are you doing today?
Why? What do you need from me?
What do you need me to do
Yeah.
today? And she goes, I'm just asking. I said, I don't know. Like Sunday, she goes, what are you doing? If you're not coming to the bike race, what are you doing? I'm going to do whatever I want. She goes, well, what's that? I go, I'm not really sure. I might walk up that driveway and decide, you know what? I'm going to pick rocks out of the swale. Or I'm going to go up there, I'm going to trim that tree. Or, you know what? I'm going to walk back in the house and hug Lola. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm just going to do whatever makes me happy. And I was up until the phone call. And I could
Surprise.
tell. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it wasn't like, she goes, hey, listen, I'm actually not sure if I'm going to make this or not. But I'm having trouble. Could you do me a big favor and just find your way over here in case I change my mind? Yeah, no problem. No. I can't. My heart's exploding. Come get me now. I'm like, where are you? Just find your GPS. Like she fell out of a plane and is in the water bobbing up and down the ocean.
Well, you're asking me to talk. I'm going on this hill. I can barely breathe. I should have a conversation. Just find me.
Holy cow. I couldn't believe it. Anyway,
And
only to
and-
find out.
Got back on the bike.
Yep.
And finished.
As soon as I got there, she got
finished.
back on the bike. I think I can make it from here. Thanks. All right. 40 minutes.
Just checking. Just checking if you got my back.
And then she got mad. She goes, you're going to follow me down? To where? I'm already back home. I'm already back in the driveway. No. At the end of the day, retirement, I've told you my plans all along. And if God wills it and gives me a strong back when I retire, whenever that's going to be, I'm going to find myself in the woods, cutting firewood and tinkering stuff, taking things apart, looking at that going, Looks like
You do love to tinker.
Yeah,
Doesn't he, Mark?
I
Yeah,
love
well,
to tinker.
Hey, I got a real nice mower out of it, so keep tinkering.
But again, you know when it's time. Until you know when it's time, it's not time to retire.
Yeah,
But you know when it's time, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just time.
I knew when it was time.
It's just time.
I was like, I knew. Well, I'm not at this stage, but when it was corrections, I knew when it was time. I was like, all right, it's time. It's time.
Because we have a conversation all the time. Did things change, or do you just not have the patience for it anymore?
Both.
Well, I don't know. That's why it's time. When you know it's time, it's time.
For me, it was both. With corrections, at least, things had changed. Too many things had changed in the department, and I had had enough of it. So, time to
Yeah,
go.
and luckily you're able to do so, right?
Yeah.
Both financially, mentally, you're able to do that. But
Absolutely.
it's unfortunate sometimes people find themselves in a position where they're not ready financially to retire, and they have to remain, right? They have to stay there, and they're in some cases they're disgruntled, become disgruntled
Oh,
or
yeah.
upset, and I feel bad for them. I do, whether it's planning or my goal was always in my mind. I'm doing 20 years and I'm out. That was my goal from the time because at 20 years on that job, you can leave with half pay. I could be home watching TV for half the money. It was that simple.
Yeah.
But life changes along that path, right? You're like, okay, I need to stay a little longer, right? So, but at the end of the day, the fact is that
Or you get to the 20
Yeah.
and you realize you don't really need to. You
right. I still enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, thoughts change.
No, 100%.
Now
so,
you're on 33, right?
41.
40 minutes. Yeah,
That's 2 careers.
that is.
It is.
That is. And essentially, you are doing 2 careers. So, yeah.
Done.
Yeah, that's true. Julie, when are you retiring?
11 years at the age of 55.
Oh, good for
There
you.
you
And
go.
then I'm going to move to Cape Cod
Excellent.
and do nothing.
Nothing wrong
Really
with that.
do
Nice.
nothing.
Nothing wrong with that.
I hear
What,
do
what
nothing,
part of
do
Cape Cod? Do you have something in mind?
Somewhere north of Chatham.
Nice.
Excellent.
It'll take us from now till then to save enough money, and
Boy, that's like specific.
Yeah,
that's
that's
really
very
good. Yeah, that's all right. I like that.
yep,
Yeah,
11 years.
good for you. Wow.
Yep. Start divesting in 6 years and get there by then.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's very.
That's good.
That's a nice plan.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing we tell guys at work, the men and women down there is, you can pretty much lay out. You may not be able to pick your path as far as promotions and changes and stuff, but you can decide, like start saving. We recommend like deferred comp if you can, or in private industry 401ks, and that's one thing I stress to my kids is, listen, you got to start, right? However that's going to work out, you've got to be able. I know things change, right? Family plans and so on, but at the end of the day, at least have an idea of where you want to end up, and occasionally, in like my case, I just completed my master's program, and I was going to be a lawyer. I was going back to law school for a JD. That was my plan. I thought about a PhD at one point, and I said, you know what? 7 years. My professors in my master's program said, no. Listen, what are you going to do with that? What do you plan on doing? Teaching? No, you're not going to. Come on, that's a lot, right? Get an occupational degree, become an attorney. I go, you know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd like to do that, right? And then I met a person who decided that it's more important to have a farmer.
Don't you blame that on me. Don't you dare blame that on me.
Let me tell you something. God laid out this plan. We would
you dare
We would not be
Say,
where we
I
are.
have
Okay.
never one time told you not to do something.
All right, I'm
Ever.
going back to law school.
How about it?
No. He wanted to buy another tractor, and you said no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you complain I just picked up another little car for our
You said no.
grandchildren. For our
That's
grandchildren.
twice.
Okay, but
He wanted
that's
to buy another-
different.
he wanted to buy a
You want
trailer?
to go back to school?
You said no.
Have at it.
Listen, at the end of the day, and I truly believe this, it's God's plans, right? I had planned, hey, listen, I'm going to be a lawyer. And then we met, and she started saying things, and I said, you know what? I never thought.
saying
I never thought. Sweet whispers in my ear. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I got a skill set I can use. It may not be lawyering, right? But I got a skill set. And, like I said, I joke about it.
So
but-
let's get to work in that barn.
yeah, so God's like, lawyer. I don't need any more lawyers. What I need is a guy like you. I got just a piece of property. And then we came here with the realtor, who surprisingly didn't tell us the condition of the house at the time.
And it was actually very against the house. Remember?
Yeah, she was a
the
little
realtor
shocked.
was like,
She wasn't a
this
listing
is
agent, so-
disgusting. We walked in.
Yeah, when she was walking around and stuff.
Couldn't
so-
believe it. She
was definitely,
She was not. She was like, they were supposed to have cleaned this. They did not. Like, she was not.
It was a sign that you didn't pay attention to.
Yeah.
Well, the
Fun.
potential, right? The potential that we had for the property once we looked at the barns and stuff, and she knew right away. Anyway, you heard the story before on the other podcast, but at the end of the day, like I said, we choose our path to some degree, and yet life kind of moves it around a little bit, right? But I think it's important now, right? When you're young. When I was young, I worried about like, all right, who am I going to be? Where I'm going to go? Like, all right, this is the direction I took. All right, I'm going to, and with that mentality, my father kept impressing. It doesn't matter what you do in life. You just it's an honest living, but be the best. If you're going to be a janitor, be the best janitor. Don't let people find messes. If you're going to be a teacher, make sure you impress upon the students. This is what it's about, right? Be honest, and whatever it is, be honest. And so, as I progressed through this and things changed and zigzag along the way, I find that, even the other day when I was waiting for your phone call on Sunday to come pick you up because I was waiting. I love you.
Retire.
I said, this is all right. I'm in the back. I got my safety gear on. I'm chainsawing, and that's it. This is what I grew up tinkering. Oh, you can't find a more impressive tinkerer than me. I take things apart, forget where things are, and I end up buying another one so I can put it back together. So.
Well, I like the mower.
Yeah,
The mower, that
there's a
thing-
tinkering project right there.
That thing
She
rips.
says, "What's that thing?" I said, "That's a mower. I picked it up for $50. Oh, it just needs new engine, new blades,
New carburetor.
new carburetor."
I got to weld
Like,
a new
okay.
chassis on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it. I
Well,
fixed
that
it.
thing
Well,
is
there
awesome
wasn't
now.
one. There were two.
Well, the one was for parts. I told you the story. I said, "Oh, I bought one just like it for parts," and I realized it doesn't need a whole bunch of new parts. Let me just replace those. Yeah, but is it?
It's awesome.
It's a
love it.
beast.
It's a beast. That thing, it usually takes me it went from an hour and a half or so to do my lawn to 20 minutes. That thing screams. I love it.
See? Now, if I was a lawyer, all I could do was offer you advice.
Keep tinkering.
That's right. Well, the first time I went up to your house, you had to walk through the garage to get into the house, and you had like 8 vacuum cleaners lined up. And I said to him,
4.
No.
Let's not be crazy.
And I was like, do you sell vacuums? What's happening? And you're like, no, but look at this. Every time he went to the dump, he'd come back with a broken vacuum
they'd be
cleaner
throwing
to
out
repair.
these $600 Dysons because the belt was gone on. I'm like, just change the belt, replace the
He
roller.
would clean it all out, but literally there were every kind of vacuum. He's like, "Do you want one?" This is strange.
But that's what I do. I give them away, right? Like the mower, I give them away. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Gotta
So what
stay
are
out
you
of
doing with
Because-
what are you doing with the yellow toy, the yellow Range Rover that you're buying?
It's one of 8. We're setting up a small racetrack.
pretty much. We have more vehicles for children than we have
I
children.
found one this morning. I'm like, look at this. It's a John Deere Gator. It's got a dual, and it's got a hydraulic dumping tailgate. And she goes, really? I go, you know what? You're right. I need an intervention. I've stopped. I'm not doing it. Delete. I deleted it. That's not on my list anymore. And then this morning it popped up around 10 o'clock. Oh, a yellow Range Rover.
Jeff.
And it said, and the listing said pending.
What did I send the other day? Send help. Somebody
It
send
says
help.
it's listed $100 pending. So I sent it to her, and she goes, "Is pending you?" Might be.
When we pick it up tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I
Well,
like it.
He's doing nothing.
he's doing nothing. He's not retiring. Julie's got a
11 years.
very serious concrete plan. She's ready to roll, and you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
What about you?
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, you didn't say what you're doing. Are you
I don't
retiring?
know. Not for I got to get a kid through college yet.
Okay, so when that happens, you'll be about that age.
About that age.
Well, I'm not going to say the number. Look in the comments for it. And so at that point, what's your plan?
I don't know.
Say the kids go to college, everyone's successful, married, grandkids, the whole thing. Now what? What are you going to do with your life?
I don't know.
Am I going to be part of it?
Keep it up.
That's right.
Keep tinkering.
Oh, she needs somebody to fix that camper she's getting. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
actually, yeah. I want to travel
Uh-huh.
in the United States. I want to see.
You already
it.
got a
I
plan.
That's a plan.
Yeah.
She's already got a plan. She wants to go
That's a
up,
plan.
around,
Yep.
and down.
I
and
want to
circle
walk
back. Yeah.
in every state.
That's a good plan.
She wants to do the.
I want, meaning I don't want to just drive through. I got to stop. I got
step on it.
Well, I like to see stuff. Even if it's just like, I don't know, a yard sale. I like to see what's going on, and I like that. I
Some
like to
states,
see.
trust me, you don't want to go to some states.
You know, but I do. I really do. I've driven a lot through the United States, and I love to see how other people live, where they live, how the terrain and
So one morning,
I don't not necessarily like tourist areas. I want to see what there is.
So one morning, she sends me this video clip, and it's about a trip that people are planning or whatever. And so we sit down for breakfast, and she goes, "Did you watch the video I sent you?" I go, "I didn't get a chance." She goes, "Watch it. It's pretty cool." So I click on it. It's like, "Oh, we're gonna blah, blah, blah." And she goes, "See, what they did was they came down through here, and then once they crossed into North Dakota, they passed through South Dakota." I said, "No, South Dakota." And she goes, "What?" I go, "We're not going." I refuse to go to South Dakota.
He says it, but he's not laughing.
I'm not laughing. I'm like, absolutely not. Count me out. Drop me off at the border. Pick me up on the other side. I am not going to step in South Dakota. And she goes, "Is something wrong with you?" What? I go, "Listen, I have my reasons. I'm not doing it." And she's like buying into this. And I'm like,
what happened?
in fact, you know what? I don't even want to talk about South Dakota. Leave it alone. And she goes, I really need to know what happened in South Dakota. And I go, just messing with you. Give me the eggs.
Now I keep sending him stuff. South Dakota. I'm going. I am going to South Dakota, with or without you. I'm going to South Dakota.
Yeah, I pulled it off pretty well. Completely out of the blue. So, no, not going to South Dakota.
No, we're not taking that route.
No.
We got to go.
I'm not going. I'm just not going. She goes, "You've been to South Dakota?" I don't want to talk about South Dakota. Susquehanna hat. Robert and Costello. Susquehanna hat.
I think I've been to all 50 states.
Nice.
I think. I don't know.
Which one's the best?
Julie's going to Alaska again. You've been before, right?
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna
That
be our
is
second
awesome.
time.
Are we going to go to Alaska? Can we drive there? We can
You
drive.
can drive
You
there.
can.
Yeah.
Drive
It'll be
there.
a long
yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You can drive
We'll
there.
be retired.
Yeah.
We might be able to take Jeff if we're driving.
As long as you're driving. I won't get on airplanes. I know how they work.
Had enough of that.
Safest
huh?
mode of transportation, I'm told.
Yo, yeah.
All right, excellent. Sorry Ryan was here. He missed out on a good one.
Yeah,
And I'd like to hear his retirement plans.
I know. We'll have to have a continuation.
He's got more than a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's a worker. He wants to stay.
And he's got a very young child.
Yeah.
So he has a long way to go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. And
For all your real estate needs, John Mark Bunce.
John Bunce at Howard Hanna Ran in Kingston.
Hold on. 845-517-5864.
There you go.
You got it.
For that smile and a sale, call John.
That's right. To buy or sell, John Bunce, Howard Hanna
Hanna
Ran.
Ran Realty.
There you go. And we hope you enjoyed this episode.
See you soon.